Hey, y'all. I'm sorry, I got to get myself situated here. Hey. Okay. Listen, y'all, I can't believe it. It's Wednesday already. It's Wednesday trending topics. We in the building. We got stuff to talk about. Listen, if y'all hanging out with the Diva, do me a favor. Hit the like button, okay? Hit the like button. I'm working tonight. I'm here. We got stuff to talk about. And you do know that the topic is a Diddy is one of the topics, okay? This Diddy trial. But in the meantime, let me back up because the title tonight is Turn on the Lights. Somebody turn on the lights. The darkness is amongst us, and you can be the shining light within the darkness. When you come in the room, let change happen. Don't participate in the darkness. Now, listen, I've been through some stuff in my life. If I could sit down and write my life story, it's a lot. I've been through some things. But you know what? Everybody got something in them that can rise to the top. I got my vices. I told y'all I was a Starbucks fiend. About 5 different Starbucks in my local area, they knew me by name. So most of them knew my government name, but a lot of them was putting Diva on the cup. They knew my name. And they knew the drink that I would get. And I used to get a drink and like a dessert. I used to get the drink and a croissant. Like crazy. I was guzzling it down. And if you ever go to Starbucks, you know a drink in one of them little trees, you out $15 easy. I was living in the Starbucks. It's an addiction. It's just a different type of addiction. But it's an addiction. So I understand that I know about addictions. Just because I'm not, or don't mean I don't know. Sugar is an addiction. And believe it or not, when you winging yourself off of sugar, you going through some things. You get headaches, you get the shake. You go through some things off of sugar. So I understand and I know about addiction. But I also know this. You got to try your best. Because when people offer you substances, not only do they not care about themselves, but they sure heck don't care about you. The darkness is amongst us. Stay in the light. Look for the light and stay there. So that's why tonight's title is Turn on the Lights. If you ever had bugs in your home and the lights was off, they probably was running rampant. You turn on the light, they start to scatter. Turn on the lights. You go to be with somebody and they say, turn off the lights, make it dark. No, you better turn them lights on and inspect. Know what you're about to lay down with. But I don't want to get far off here. Let me get back focused. The night's title is Turn on the Lights. We're talking the Diddy trial updates. And I love y'all for spending time with me. because I keep it Diva style over here. These are Diva thoughts. And so the government, the prosecution, they want juror number 6. They want that juror out of there. It's the black man. And why do I know it's a black man? Because the defense told us. It's a black man. And they want him out because they say pretty much, I'll summarize it for you. He ain't paying attention no more. At first, he was taking all these notes. He was taking notes. And they said now he just kind of kicked back. So that's their reasoning for wanting him gone. How much notes do you got to take about a freak off or a hotel night or whatever else they want to call it? How many notes you need to take? Now, it's not my thing, but guess what? I can set up for a freak off. I can do I can do everything because I got the memo. You need some baby oil. You need substances. You need a red light. And I came across this article the other day about the red light district and how like these clubs like that and these sex clubs, for whatever reason, they like this red light thing. But it's a thing. So I get it. I got it. So he probably saying in his head, why do I need to take notes when every witness that comes up there, they're telling the same thing in a different way? He gave me substances. I bought him substances. There was baby oil. It was freak offs. And now they called hotel nights. Sometimes it was called wild king nights. All the same thing. So we're going to give those updates. And Jane Doe is still on the stand. And she's all over the place. I'm not sure what the prosecution was thinking here. If this is not a piss poor performance, I don't know what is. This man is charged with RICO, racketeering. You would think, you know what, they're going to come up there and tell you about how money was funneling from here to there and where the funds was coming from. And he took the funds from bad boy account and this one had it and this one had it. And he was shoving the substances down these people's throat. Darn near everybody that came up there, they ended that testimony with how much they love Mr. Combs. Go back and listen. In a roundabout way, everybody left talking about pretty much, I love you, man. Kid Cudi, they said, this ain't Diva making it up. They said when Kid Cudi left the stand, he looked at Diddy and nodded to him. That's him letting him know, I'm good, we good. And then the defense asked him, Cassie played the ball for her, y'all. He said, yeah, she did. Now Jane Doe up there, Jane, whatever. She got all these love note texts to Diddy. She praying for Diddy. She still loved Diddy. She wanted Diddy to go to rehab. And she talked about how, yes, she did the freak offs because she wanted to get closer to Diddy. But the prosecution said you was trafficking and you was forced and you was coerced. Which one is it? So why do I need to take notes about the foolery? But I'm going to continue. And then wait, let me tell y'all, because every night I got to tell you about some of the people that's in my comments. Somebody in my comments said, Dita, it's mandatory that the jurors take notes. Well, when did that happen? Because let me tell you this. I've been a juror about 4 or 5 times. They told me to be attentive, to make sure I understood. And if I need to take notes, take notes. But guess what they will also do? They will give you the transcripts when you need to go back there and deliberate so you don't have to, just in case your notes got it twisted. Not as dumb as I look, people. I've been around for a minute. And I told y'all before, and I ain't never lied to you. Every time I went to that darn jury duty, no matter what I said, they picked me. Now, let me continue. Do you remember that rapper Silento? Want to see me whip? Want to see me Nae Nae? Well, now he's going to whipping Nae Nae in a jail cell for 30 years. He's 27. He got 30 years behind bars for taking the life of his own cousin. That's darkness. Can somebody do me a favor? Turn on the lights. That's darkness. He took the life of his own cousin. I don't like pow pows. Don't want one. Was never interested in one. He's doing 30 years. He pled guilty. He tried to claim a mental disability. It's funny. He was able to write that rap song, do the video, jam into it, raked in the dough from it. But I guess the day he pow his cousin, he remembered he had a mental problem that he was dealing with for a long time. Oh, okay. So we're going to talk about that. Then, because the darkness. You remember that HBO show, The Bunny Ranch? Cathouse? Because I think, what was that, in Nevada? Wherever it was, selling your body was legal. And he had Broncos. And they featured it on the HBO show. And that's where Lamar Odom found himself, he OD'd. And his OD was serious. Lamar Odom was meant to be here. He had like 22 heart attacks or something like that. And I ain't making this up. Remember, he OD'd. He was still with Khloe Kardashian at the time. And then they was about to get a divorce. But you know, I know y'all hate on the Kardashians. But let me say this. She stayed with that man while he went through his OD and all of that and waited till after to continue with that divorce. I mean, I give it up to her. I give it up to her. So now the people from the Bunny Ranch, they're talking, the stars, saying how they was over there being brutalized by the owner. He was R-ing them, forcing them into things. And one girl said that, what did she say? She said that the check from HBO that she got was $350. And they will only pay her when she had sex scenes. She said she legally got the check in the mail, and she was so happy to get an HBO check, but it was $350. And when she had a regular scene, they paid her nothing. And y'all think Diddy out here pimping? HBO pimped them out, along with the owner. She said she only got paid when it was a sex scene. Other than that, she didn't get paid from HBO. And they raked in millions on that show. I think it was 2 seasons. And the owner was accused of the same similar stuff like Diddy. But unfortunately, he passed away before, I guess he could see his day in court. But they spoke out. And then what I didn't know is Heidi Fleiss was said to be his girlfriend towards the end of his life. And Heidi Fleiss went through it. She looks horrible. I'm going to show you a video. She looks horrible. She looked horrible. But drugs and alcohol, it will tear you down. In hindsight, before I bring the people in the building, I will say this with Diddy. Now I understand why every time you saw him, you always had on some sunglasses, covering the darkness in his eyes. Not the literal darkness, but the darkness. He was, I'm going to say allegedly, always high. And so them sunglasses was covering a lot. And it's a shame that this man living in a mega mansion and was a straight up drug addict, allegedly. And the people, y'all sometimes y'all got to sock it to me several times before I will adjust and fall into line with it. Y'all kept saying, Diva, you don't think the kids saw enough and you don't think, I'm like, no. Well, remember though, the twins was living in LA because they was finishing up school with the caretaker. But the boys was there in their house. So pretty much Jane, from what Jane is saying, just all day long, he was on something. Hands shaking. She said he was looking jaundiced, yellow eyes. As much as these people went through, yeah, Julius, come on, sometimes you got to redirect with love. I ain't mad. But y'all know I'll fight y'all to the bitter end if I'm 10 toes down that I swear I'm right. But that's why I like it over here. Because y'all believe what y'all believe, and I believe what I believe, and we still get along. We do. But every now and then, you know, if it come out that I was wrong, I'll admit to it. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. But you know what? So, you know, the crazy part is, even all of this horrible stuff that all of these ladies went through, at the end of the day, they still love Diddy. Addicted to him. Just like he was addicted to the substances, they was addicted to him. Now, let me be clear. Let me just say this, and I promise you I'm about to bring the people in the building. Let me say this, though. Usually a pimp takes your money. He was giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, and he's still giving because Jane told us her rent and her legal bills are still being paid by Diddy. I don't know a pimp that gives the people the money. And that's why, like Mark said, his lawyer, these were boyfriend, girlfriend situations gone bad. If you take, you know, respectfully, I'm saying this, a hoe off the street that has a pimp, and you ask her, is he giving you no money? No, she'll tell you when she finished doing all that work on the street, he took all her money and barely fed her. Every last one of them was getting cash on top of cash on top of cash from Diddy. And you know what, too? He told every last one of them, I'm a single man. I do what I want to do. And all of them were fighting to be number one. And today, Diva was number one. Tomorrow was Cassie. And Friday was somebody else. And if you want to stay in his life, it was what it was. What's funny is, though, Neo doing that exact thing right now. And everybody think it's a kiki and a ha-ha. Neo got 4 girlfriends right now. Diddy told these girls what it was. He laid down in the bed and asked baby girl, do you want to do a freak off? She said, yeah. They got the phone call where he told her, listen, baby girl, I'm doing what I'm doing, meaning I'm paying for your rent and your this and that. You need to get on your job. And if you don't, guess what? Bye. Where's the force and the coercion? But you know what, though? I'm going to keep it pushing. Y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Wednesday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. It's called Turn On the Lights, okay? We're talking the Diddy trial update. Silento gets 30 years for taking his cousin's life, and the Bundy Ranch horror stories. Let me bring the people on in. Hey, Felicia.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Julius. Okay. Thank
y'all
for
y'all hit the like button. Now, we not talking about, you know, the Teddy Pendergrass song. We talking about some common sense, y'all. We just had to throw that disclaimer in for the people.
Increase matters, they did. And it starts there. And that's part of the sad part, to be very honest with you. They did. Very low self-esteem. It's sad. You know what, y'all? I'm going to go ahead and start with this Bunny Ranch story. The owner, he died in his sleep. They said he had a heart attack. Before he died, he was running for office, and he actually won, even though he had died before the election. It's an interesting story. Let me share a screen. Let's get into this.
Dennis Hoff stunned over his death tonight. The 72-year-old reportedly died in his sleep at the Love Ranch just outside of Pahrump.
Hoff was running for state assembly, and his death came less than 24 hours after he held a campaign rally.
And tonight, 13 Action News anchor Leslie Marine is live outside the Love Ranch. And Leslie, friends and family, they are continuing to remember Dennis Hoff.
Todd, Tricia, friends and family have been stopping by the Love Ranch all day to pay their respects after Dennis Hoff was found here at the Love Ranch after peacefully passing away in his sleep. Now, whether or not you agreed with his controversial businesses, his friends say he was making an impact. The infamous Love Ranch filled with sheriff's deputies and detectives today after popular brothel owner Dennis Hoff peacefully passing in his sleep.
I'm looking at this guy that had been my friend for 25 years on the bed, stiff, cold, eyes at half mast. It's like, what the heck?
Celebrity Ron Jeremy found Hoff this morning, but also spent Hoff's final hours together. The two attending a rally and birthday party for Hoff, who was running for a seat in the state legislature.
Came back here to the ranch to celebrate. And again, Den doesn't do drugs or drink. We just simply crack jokes, flirt with the girls, and there you have it.
Jeremy saying Hoff spent his last night with a woman at the ranch. Although police have not confirmed his cause of death, friends say Hoff was battling diabetes, but still nothing seemed wrong in his final hours.
This news was like a total shock. As far as I'm concerned, he was 100%. Obviously, he was under a lot of stress or something. Something took him out.
Dennis Hoff had recently taken on many new projects, although best known for running brothels across southern Nevada. Close friend and former madam Heidi Fleiss says the properties were being sold.
Know that this is, I think, an escrow, and the corner, I think, there's some prospective buyers.
While the world knew Dennis Hoff for his controversial personality, Fleiss describing a person the public didn't know.
Dennis was a genuine person. When he promised you something,
Great to his friends.
It wasn't nonsense. Dennis always followed through.
Now, when it comes to the race for that assembly seat, Dennis's name will still appear on the ballot. If he wins, the government can appoint a replacement. Reporting live, Leslie Marine, 13 Action News.
Leslie.
So, yes, that was Heidi Fleiss. And they said in another video I watched that she was his girlfriend at the end of his days. So I don't know, but she looked bad. It was horrible. Okay, so I'm sharing the screen again. Sex worker stars of HBO Cathouse exposed the ugly truth of living at Nevada's notorious Moonlight Bunny Ranch. Disgusting and horrific. The stars of Cathouse are clawing back. 2 decades after the headline-hitting HBO docuseries brought prostitution into America's living rooms, workers who appeared on the show are accusing its producers of exploitation and misrepresentation. Cathouse, which began airing in June 2005, took a lighthearted look at the lives of employees at Moonlit Bunny Ranch, a legal brothel in Mudhouse, Nevada. An instant ratings smash, it ran for 2 seasons and spawned 10 specials. The Prudent program portrayed the world's oldest profession as empowering and depicted the brothel as a makeshift sorority house where glamorous girl pals bounded by profiting off of horny, harmless men. But the reality exposed in the 6-part special, Secrets of the Bunny Ranch, premiering June 12th, which is tomorrow, on A&E, was far more sinister. The documentary paints a picture of desperate women humiliated, intimidated, and manipulated by the brothel's notorious owner, Dennis Hoff, who was later accused of R by a former employee. Several women who worked at the Moonlit Bunny Ranch claimed Cathouse tactically encouraged young female viewers to pursue a career in P by the show's fun and fuzzy tone. It enticed these young girls, and we did get a lot of them. Cathouse star Shelley told the Post. As soon as they turned 18, they were looking to work there. I mean, the show really was really good for recruiting. I would say to HBO and Cathouse producers, shame on you. Former Bunny Ranch employee Charleston declared in an interview with the Post, shame on you for making something look glamorous and fun. That's not the reality, she added. It wasn't glamorous and fun. It's disgusting and horrific work in the middle of nowhere. And that is Shelley, one of the former stars. HBO did not immediately respond to requests for a comment. A powerful pimp. Hoff had a starring role on Cathouse. In the mid-2000s, at the time of the show airing, he portrayed in mainstream media as a pioneering entrepreneur getting rich in the light of a legalized, P. But far from being a malevolent boss, the Bunny Ranch was more like Hoff's house of horrors, with employees saying they lived in fear of him. He was just a disgusting, foul human being that just profited off of other people's backs and bragged about it. Shelley told the Post that Hoff, who owned 6 other legal brothels, regularly pressured her into sex. Dennis wanted to sleep with me the first night I got there, she claimed. I didn't say no to him, so I wasn't hard, but I was put in a position where I felt like I could not say no to him. So I just went along with it. And I thought, okay, well, maybe he makes all the girls do this. And I was right. For the most part, he tried out most of the girls that would let him, she added. And then he did it even when the girls didn't want him to. So that's why I think one of them accused him of R. Per the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Hoff was accused of R-ing a P at one of his brothels in 2005. He was also accused of SA-ing women in 2009 and 2011. Hoff ran as a Republican candidate for Nevada Assembly in 2018. He died of a heart attack in October that year, but his name was left on the ballot at elections the following month. He was elected to the seat after his death. If Dennis had lived, he probably would have ended up in prison because of all the accusations he had against him, Shelley said of the pimp-turned-politician. Meanwhile, on Secrets of the Bunny Ranch, several employees claimed that Hoff financially exploited them. He allegedly underpaid numerous workers, stripping them of their agency and effectively keeping them confined to the remote brothel. Charleston, who worked briefly at the Bunny Ranch in the early 2000s, told the Post that some of the employees were trapped there for years at a time without leaving. I was the only person at the time that I remember who actually had my own vehicle there, she said. She shockingly stated. As for Hoff, he was just disgusting, vile human being that profited off of the other people's backs and bragged about it. Moonlit Bunny Ranch has released a statement regarding the new A&E special, stating, as the documentary series Secrets of the Bunny Ranch has not yet aired and we have not been provided with an advance copy, it would be premature for us to address any specific allegations without first reviewing the actual content and claims being made. That said, we note that allegations against Mr. Hoff are not new. During his lifetime, Mr. Hoff publicly addressed and denied similar accusations through official statements and media responses, including detailed rebuttals available on his website. The statement continued. We find it particularly concerning that these matters are being revisited now when Mr. Hoff is no longer alive to personally respond or to defend himself against any claims. The timing raises serious questions about fairness, as the accused party cannot provide their perspective or defense. Empowerment or exploitation. Hoff wasn't the only one making a pretty penny from the Moonlit Bunny Ranch. Cathouse quickly became a rating smash for HBO, garnering millions of curious viewers. Shelley became one of the show's stars and was immediately recognized in the public, but fame didn't come with a fortune. HBO wasn't much better than a pimp because I was barely paid anything. She claims in the Secrets of the Bunny Ranch documentary, I made between $300 and $350 per sex scene. Shelley further explained to the Post, and that was all they paid me for. I got actual pay stubs from HBO and W-2s mailed to me, and it was exciting to get an envelope that said HBO on it with a paycheck. But the paycheck was just a few $100s, so it was pretty embarrassing, to be honest with you, she said. They didn't pay me for just normal scenes, and it was just a ridiculously low amount of money. People seeing me on TV thought I had gotten rich, Shelley added. A different time. Cathouse premiered a year after HBO aired the final Sex in the City, another envelope-pushing series in which women unabashedly discuss their sexual proclivities and activities. In the mid-2000s, pop culture seemingly promoted sex positivity at every turn, making it seem that women were profiting from their provocative pursuits. From Britney Spears and her raunchy video clips to Paris Hilton and her infamous sex tape. But in the wake of the Me Too movement, many women are reassessing how much agency that era actually brought about. For posterity, the New York Post 2002 review of the original Cathouse, which is referenced in The Secrets of the Bunny Ranch, has aged far better. There hasn't been a portrayal of hookers, this one-dimensional and phony sense, Pretty Woman, or Acton TV critic Linda Stasi savagely wrote. Cathouse is no longer available on HBO platforms. Even when we were filming it, I knew it wasn't a true representation, Shelley admitted to the Post, saying the HBO show omitted the gritty reality of life at the brothel. They wanted to sell the show, they wanted to make money off the show, and they wanted to make money off the girls having a great time. They just didn't want to show the ugly side of it, she further says in Secrets of the Bunny Ranch. Despite the veneer of glamour and empowerment that Cathouse presented, many of the employees were desperate women who had fallen on hard times. In the Secrets of Bunny Ranch special, Shelley reveals that she was SA'd as a child, saying, I probably would never have thought about working at the Bunny Ranch if I hadn't had an old man touching me when I was a little bitty kid. Charleston Miron told the Post that she was a teenage runaway when she got into selling herself. The vast majority of people that find themselves in the P are disenfranchised people that come from impoverished backgrounds, homelessness, the foster care system, she said. I mean, I was a runaway kid living on the streets, vulnerable and hungry, so I think it's really important to keep that in mind. Several years after leaving the Moonlit Bunny Ranch, Charleston was arrested for tax evasion and served 13 months in federal prison. It was later determined that she had been a victim of sex trafficking and was granted a full pardon by President Trump in 2020. She has obtained both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree and is now a public speaker raising awareness about human trafficking. Both she and Shelley also want to raise awareness about not believing everything you see on TV. Cathouse did exploit the girls, Shelley said. I really expected more from HBO. They came across with a great show, though. I mean, people loved it. It just wasn't real. Felicia, your thoughts?
Good evening, everyone. So Mr. Hoff died peacefully in his sleep. Decades of accusations. Running a brothel. Multiple brothels, actually.
Yeah.
And his friends are going to miss him. And he won't be getting any jail time for being a pimp and an abuser and a predator. So I guess he got lucky. Because they said the night before he passed, he was with a woman. They didn't say which one. So
another article said it was a S worker.
Oh, okay. Okay. And what a nice story. I didn't hear any drama. I didn't hear he's a monster necessarily from the people outside.
Ain't that interesting?
Yeah. It is. So I received it as you read it.
Okay.
Good luck, Mr. Hoff, on your journey home. I'm done.
Thank you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah. He should have been on Color Purple. How did you die? He died on top of me. When he with a woman, maybe she was too strong for him and he had a heart attack that way. Who knows? I'm not saying anything against the women whatsoever, but I did watch this show at one point in time, and it was it was disgusting. But the thing of it is that she said they was trapped there. Okay, if I'm trapped there, give me a ticket. Let me catch a bus and get up out of here. I mean, because if you had left and went back to school and did something for yourself, You could have did that before you went to the Bunny Ranch, of all places. You went on TV thinking you was going to be famous, and I'm not victim shaming or doing anything like that, but you knew what the Bunny Ranch consists of. You went there for sex. You went there to have sex with different people. And this man, if they seen this show before they went on, they seen how this man was interacting with these women on this show. But you went to this place. Shelly was getting high paid because I seen her win awards and getting bonuses and everything. And what about that lady that was over them? They had a madam over them, like what was her name, Kitty, and on Gunsmoke. Where she at? I don't hear anything from her. I, I know people get in situations, they do what they have to do, and I get it. But if I'm finna be selling myself, ain't no man getting no money. I'm putting myself out there. I'm keeping all my money. So he was making a profit off y'all, and you wasn't even getting paid because you was staying there. I guess he was paying for their food, their housing, or whatsoever, their lodging, and all this. And why didn't y'all come out when he was running for office to let people know what was going on? Yet still, you was gonna let this man be in the legislator or Congress or wherever he's gonna be in, knowing that he's a predator. But good luck on suing him, and we'll see how it goes. That's all I got.
He's been gone for over 6 years now.
Yeah, he gone. Yeah, he been gone. I remember that story. I remember he was with that girl. But anyway, good luck to the women that's coming out now after 6 years after the man gone. But as you said, different color, different race, none of that was exposed. He's gone, and now they want to bring it out. But Diddy stuff was out there from the get go. But we'll see. That's all I got, Diva.
Thanks, Julius. Your thoughts?
Well, the woman can speak. Not much can be done though because the man is gone. But everyone has the right to share their story. Let them share their story.
Thank you. Okay. I think a little difference with this story is the women are admitting that, she was a runaway. They was bad off, so to speak. And the other woman, and a lot of people that, I don't want to say a lot, but I'll say this. Sometimes people that are violated when they're young, a lot happens to them. Some of them do end up in these particular situations. Just like that young lady, I think it's two of them now. I get them confused that they're both OnlyFans models and they, seeing who could sleep with 100 men in a day. I think that something happened. I don't think you just wake up and you decide you're going to go that far and do these particular things. These particular individuals, I think their stories are a little bit different. And like the one said, she's not saying that, she said, I guess I can't say that he harmed me because, he asked me and I did it. But, they not only got pimped out by him, they got pimped out by HBO. So it's a layered story in the sense that do these reality shows and the producers of them, they should have, in my opinion, a higher level of responsibility for the mental well-being of their talent. Because on a regular job, you have HR, and if you are accused of such things, there's going to be problems. There's going to be problems if you're mentally, physically, and emotionally abusing your employees. And it seems like these reality shows, they get away with doing the most and nothing happens. But, that's, I guess, is a story for another day. So I'll go ahead and roll into the next story. And this is this Silento, this rapper. If I'm not mistaken, I remember part of his story. I think he was raised by either the grandmother or in a foster care or something like that. He ended up with this hit song and it propelled him into stardom. And then shortly after, I don't think he was able to get too many hits after that or get another song after that. And the next thing you know, he was in trouble. He was being accused of unaliving somebody. So at first he denied it, but then when all the evidence pointed his way, he admitted to it.
County, which
he admitted to it and pled guilty, and now they gave him 30 years. Let's take a listen.
Attorneys tell us that lawsuit is being filed in Gwinnett County, which is where the general contractor of that gangway is based.
And now to this, rapper Silento will spend the next 30 years in prison after entering a plea on charges connected to the murder of his cousin. The rapper, whose real name is Ricky Hawk, he's best known for the hit song Watch Me Whip. Well, Hawk pleaded guilty but mentally ill to voluntary manslaughter, aggravated assault, and other charges. The victim here, Frederick Rooks III, he was shot and killed in 2021 in DeKalb County in the Panthersville area around 3 a.m. Hawk was arrested days after that shooting. Police say he confessed.
All right.
Okay, let me just share screen again. So Silento, I got a 30-year prison rap for unaliving my own cousin. Atlanta rapper Silento, Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nae Nae, Fame has been sentenced to 30 years in prison for his role in the 2021 pow-powing death of his cousin. The DeKalb County District Attorney announced on Wednesday that the 27-year-old rapper born Ricky Lamar Hawk pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter, aggravated assault, in possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, as well as concealing the death of another, Frederick Rooks III. As we told you, DeKalb County Police found Rooks suffering from multiple pow-pow wounds with the bullet casings at the scene. Surveillance footage later shows Silento fleeing the area in a white BMW. Investigators eventually used ballistic testing to match the shell casings found at the scene with a pow-pow found in Silento's possession. 10 days later, the rapper eventually confessed to slaying, both shouldered some of the blame to the significant mental health crisis he suffered from since he was a child. He reportedly even tried to take his own life in 2020. Nonetheless, the judge still felt 30 years was appropriate punishment. So here he is at 27, sentenced to 30 years. I guess at 57, he'll be back out on the streets. Felicia, your thoughts?
That's such a sad situation.
Mm-hmm.
So he admitted that he had a multitude of problems.
Mm-hmm.
He was always probably in trouble. He needed all kinds of support systems and didn't get it. And then this rush of fame comes.
Mm.
And he probably didn't know how to respond to it, what to do with it, who to go to about it. And then it went away. And they didn't say why he took his cousin's life, right?
No.
This criminal justice system is upside down. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm not able to process how he got 30 years without knowing the other parts. So I'm not going to comment any further. I'm done.
Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you, Felicia. I'm like, what was the reason of him pow-powing his cousin? Like, did they get in an argument? Something happened? And I've seen people get 10 years, for unaliving somebody. Some get 5, some don't even go. And by him saying that he has a mental problem or he trying to take his own life, unalive himself, is something is not clicking up there. Something is not going all the way to the top. And did they try to get him therapy? Did they try to send him into instead of sending him to a prison, did they send him to a mental ward or something like that? I mean, it's sad. It really is sad. And taking unaliving somebody, that's not a good thing either. But we don't know the reason behind it, which is, that gives nobody no reason to unalive any other body. But yeah, I would like to know the reason behind that too. And I hope he gets some healing and forgive himself for what he's done, because I don't know the situation of it. But I appreciate the story, Diva. But that's all I got.
Thank you. Julius, your thoughts?
He is where he is, but the system has failed him at the same time. His mental struggles, his psychological struggles should have been addressed, but ultimately he made a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And now he is where he is. And that is a choice that only he can ask God on his behalf to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
Not the family member or family, but I'm pretty sure they might forgive him. They probably won't forget, but they might forgive him. But that is up to him to come to grips with. And just as a PSA, all fame and money is not good, especially for folks who have untreated mental illnesses. It only seeks to further hide it. That's it.
Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to comment on really this young man because we don't know nothing. I mean, we
We
don't
know
know
he
if it
took somebody's life. I mean,
was.
he took somebody's life.
I know he took somebody's life, but what happened? Was it self-defense? I mean, I mean, they just say he took somebody's life. It would kind of help. I'm just saying, I'm saying that before I pass judgment, like, yeah, he where he need to be, yeah, he deserved 30 years, So it's just hard for me on that. It's just that I just think it's like Felicia said, our criminal justice system, he gets 30 years for manslaughter. Somebody else gets a year. So it's just, that's the thing. 30 years, that's past life. And other people do more horrible crimes and don't get that. I mean, get 10 years, 5 years, I'm just saying, that's just my feeling, on the criminal justice systems, how some people get different times, in prison for the same things. Mm-hmm. And it's not like 1 year, 2 years, it's like drastic differences. And it's just so unfair. And like I said, I don't know what this young man did. That's it.
They need to release more details, but at the end of the day, he pled guilty. He took someone's life. He ran away. It got caught on surveillance. And then, afterwards, he want to claim about his mental problem. But if you go back, because I remember I followed him, that song was huge when it was out. Let me see you whip. Let me see you, Nae Nae. He did interviews on BET, the red carpet, and everything in between. And he seemed to have his mental capacity. And I'm not saying he didn't perhaps deal with some type of mental illness, but and I don't know, like when it comes to his sentence, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I need more information in terms of his 30-year sentence. But I will say this. It seems as if once people get in trouble, they want to bring up their childhood. They want to bring up their mental illness. But when they rolling in the ducats and spending the money, it's all good in the hood. Anyway, 30 years, it's a shame. And my thing is, when he got all of that money, if he knew about he was 17 when that song came out. He was 17. But the money was there, right? So if you knew that you had this mental illness and you needed help, then get the help you need because you got the funds for sure now. But anywho, I'll move forward with our last story, and it's the Diddy trial updates. A lot. You want to say something, Felicia?
Yes, Diva, I must. We don't know if he got paid any money. Historically, this industry don't pay people. We don't know. We don't know what his financial situation was. I don't know. Okay. People don't necessarily get paid if they have a hit song. I don't know.
He ran away in a white BMW.
Maybe it was a rental. I don't know. I don't know. It might have been that. I can't say. I don't want you to be disappointed in me. I just can't say. I need more information.
I'm not mad at you, but okay. I'm just saying I don't. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know how it is here. Everybody can stand their ground. I don't need more information. He took his cousin's life. I think his mental illness was brought up to get mercy from the court. I think so too, and it didn't help. They still gave him 30 years. So I guess, you know, my hope is though, because I do hope this all the time, you know, for everyone that's behind bars, that they get the help that they need, at least while they behind bars, because he got 30 years to be behind the bars. All right. So let me go ahead and roll into this last story. And it's the Diddy trial update. So let me share screen. Oh, let me see which one. Do I want to do this one? No, I think I want to do this one. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so I'll get into that video. Hopefully it's the one I want to show. Sean Diddy Combs recap. Jane says photos of Combs with Young Miami were painful. Breaks down in tears on the stand. Combs, and we know what he's facing, the 5 counts in total, including 2 for S trafficking, and has denied all the allegations. What to know? A former girlfriend of Sean Diddy Combs, identified by the pseudonym Jane, was back on the stand for the 5th day of testimony. Okay, wait, let's listen to this first, and then I'll go back into it.
In Sean Combs' sex trafficking trial with his former girlfriend, who is using the pseudonym Jane, back on the stand for more cross-examination. Yesterday, Combs' lawyers pushed her on how she may have benefited from the relationship with Combs. Jane told the court that Combs supported her financially and invested $20,000 in her fashion brand. The defense also combed through text messages and voice notes that appeared to show Jane's willingness to participate in these so-called hotel nights. NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Melas joins us now outside that courthouse. Chloe, yesterday things got testy there in the courtroom behind you when Combs' lawyers asked Jane about jealousy in their relationship. How did that play out? So during cross-examination, Morgan, the main theme, like you said, has been that all of this is fueled by jealousy and money, that Jane was jealous that Combs called himself polyamorous, and although he was upfront from the beginning, had multiple girlfriends, and that he supported multiple women's lifestyles. So although he was paying for Jane's rent, and they also, side note, he's still paying for her rent and her legal fees currently, that he lavished her with expensive jewelry and purses, took her on trips all over the world, and even wired her up to $150,000 during the course of their relationship. And like you said, $20,000, for a dress company. So again, what they're trying to say is that she wasn't forced into these hotel nights, that she did that because she wanted this A-list lifestyle, and that's what she got. And that when he threatened to stop, that's when she would get vindictive, that she's not a victim, that she very much had free will. What else can we expect today in court, Chloe? Well, we're expecting Jane to be back on the stand today. Well, she actually just started for cross-examination. I'm so sorry. We're having a bit of a person right now in the background. So,
Chloe, are you okay, Chloe? I know you've got a lot of activity there behind you.
Totally fine. Yeah, there's a bunch of colorful characters here down at the courthouse, and we have that every single day. That's, it's just part of the job. But what I do want to say is that Jane is back on the stand for cross-examination right now, Morgan, and we do expect that though to wrap up tomorrow. And the big question is, does the prosecution have any more witnesses? Because they're about to hand over the reins to Diddy's defense team to put on their case, and that could last up to 2 weeks.
Chloe Melas, excellent reporting as always, especially today, given the circumstances. So thank you for doing your job and sharing that information.
Yeah, they are saying there are a lot of characters at the courthouse. Okay, so what to know about the sex trafficking trial? A former girlfriend of Sean Diddy Combs, identified by the pseudonym Jane, was back on the stand for the 5th day of testimony. Defense attorney Tenny Garagos continued to press Jane on her relationship with Combs, attempting to complicate her allegations of forced sex, physical violence, and abuse. Jane recounted how she was upset when she saw photos of Combs with rapper Young Miami, and at one point broke down in tears as loving messages between her and Combs were read in court. I resent him for how much I loved him and couldn't say no to him, she testified. Combs faces up to 5 counts one count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of ST by force, fraud, or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in P. Combs has denied the allegations against him. So let's go. Y'all know I got to go all the way down to the bottom because that's where it starts. And then I work my way back up. So presumably court heads will be in plan today, nearly 24 hours after some of the trial's most fiery moments emerge out of the blue about designer handbags. Defense attorney lawyer, I'm sorry. Did I go all the way to the bottom? I did. The defense attorney lawyer, Tenny Garagos, insinuated in a line of questions Tuesday afternoon that the witness, Jane, didn't come away from a relationship with Combs empty-handed. Garagos asked Jane if she received a Chanel bag. No, Jane said, I only got trauma. When asked if she knew what, I'm not going to mess with the name of that bag was, another designer bag, Jane fired back at the daughter of the famed LA lawyer, Mark Garagos. I'm sure you have one. Jane didn't appreciate Garagos inquiring about the price tag of her bag and snapped back. How much does my body cost? In my view, Jane's cross-examination gave the jurors reason to distrust her testimony, according to NBC News legal analyst Danny. First, she was at times snarky with the defense counsel during cross-examination. Bad idea. It never looks good. But worse, she didn't own bad facts. She has an explanation for everything. Jane isn't a psychiatrist, but her testimony yesterday might have given jurors the most insightful peek yet into Combs' mindset, particularly in the bedroom. Under cross-examination by the defense and without much objection from the government, Jane says she believes Combs is curious about bisexuality, but wants to keep that side of him at a distance. Asking his girlfriends to have sex with strange men as he watched and recorded nearby was his way of participating, according to Jane. Combs is too scared to do the act, thus making those freak-offs a regular part of his life, the former girlfriend told the court. I was trying to figure out the relationship, and I came upon the word cuckold. A man turned on by watching his woman having sex with another man, Jane said. I just want to know what was driving him. The defense all about conceded that Combs regularly abused girlfriends and those around him, but has also highlighted the seemingly unfathomable affection the former partners had for him despite the violence he inflicted. In between revealing details of Combs' troubled mistreatment of her, Jane also says she enjoyed giving him foot rubs, cuddling with him while watching the NBC News magazine Dateline, and accepting the allegedly loving nickname Crack Pipe. The government in closing arguments will surely lean on earlier testimony by forensic psychologist Don Hodges to make sense of the wild ups and downs the Combs girlfriends endured. A former girlfriend of Sean Diddy Combs, identified by the pseudonym Jane, is back on the stand and given an emotionally charged testimony yesterday. Jane is one of the 4 alleged victims at the center of the prosecution's racketeering, conspiracy, and ex-trafficking trial against Diddy. Her testimony is part of the government's effort to show that Combs orchestrated a sprawling criminal enterprise to fulfill his sexual desires. Before court began, Combs was standing up toward the audience in the courtroom. He appeared to be wearing a light orange sweater and khaki pants and seemed to be mouthing words to someone in the courtroom. The government is seeking to remove one of the jurors, who the defense claims is among the panel's Black members. It is not clear exactly what's driving the prosecutor's bid, aside from the lack of candor, to seek the juror's removal. We were very reluctant to put in this letter. It appeared to be a lack of candor with the court that raises serious issues with us. Lead prosecutor Maureen Comey told the court today, we did not want to do this. We were compelled to do it. The issue was brought up outside the presence of the jurors yesterday, and defense lawyer Alexandra Shapiro said her side is opposed to removing juror number 6, who is Black and wants a chance to respond to the prosecution's request. But if the government is going to put in a letter, we'd like the opportunity to be heard either in writing or tomorrow morning, according to a transcript of Shapiro's discussion with the judge and government. Defense lawyers have presented exhibits in court suggesting James initiated some freak-offs with Combs at a hotel. Lawyers entered as evidence photos of a room with rose petals and balloons decorated by Jane. Asked if she suggested a hotel night with 2 other men at the same time, Jane answered yes. Yes, that was my suggestion. Combs was excited about that, Jane said in court. After a late August 2022 twice with Combs and worker Paul, Jane testified she told the defendant how much she appreciated these encounters. Jane texts Combs that she's having so much fun and that she would never take this for granted and will always make sure you are taken care of. The defense wants to cast these encounters, freak-offs, as consensual acts and not part of any criminal enterprise led by Combs. Diddy sent Jane at least $13,000 for her birthday in February of 2023, she testified. Jane acknowledged the money was for an outfit and her friends who wanted to celebrate over dinner in Los Angeles. Jane says the birthday dinner was okay, but not great, and that she originally asked Diddy for $15,000. Diddy was also with Young Miami, real name Carisha Brownlee, at the time, whose birthday was around the same date as hers, Jane testified. The witness recorded how excited she was to receive a Van Cleef necklace and bracelet set for her birthday in 2023. Jane says she wore lingerie and greeted Diddy with open arms because the witness was happy to be wrapped up in my lover's arms. Asked if this birthday celebration led to a hotel night, she said, unfortunately, yes. Seeing pictures of Combs having fun in Turks and Caicos with rapper Young Miami, real name Carisha Brownlee, was a painful experience, Jane said, especially in light of all she done to satisfy him in sexual twice with multiple men. Having to see the aftermath of him being with another woman, it was painful, the witness recalled. Jane cried in court after discussing how Diddy was a blessing to her in a text message exchange. You are truly a blessing in my life. I have never had a man take care of me like you do, Jane wrote to Diddy a day after one of their hotel nights. You're the reason my child's joy. It means the world to us. I love you, baby. Jane also wrote she'll always be by Combs' side. You are my lover, my partner, my boyfriend, she wrote. Jane began crying in front of the jury. Jane said she's encouraged Combs to go to 30 days eating healthy foods and staying off drugs. And that included Combs pushing for a sobriety party, which was a hotel night without drugs. The party lasted between 12 and 18 hours and included Jane having sex with 3 men. She told the court she unfortunately agreed to Combs' request. I resent him for how much I loved him and couldn't say no to him, the witness said of the October 2023 get-together. I resent him for all of it. In a party video shot by Jovial Jane, Combs expressed how good for each other they were. Combs told Jane they need to pick each other up, isolate ourselves, and do the same thing. The video shot in 2023 show. Though Combs did seem to acknowledge he hadn't been the best boyfriend, saying, I don't want to hurt you no matter what the F is going on. Judge Juror sent the jurors home for the day, asking them to return to court before 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. There will be more cross-examination today, though the defense told Judge Juror that that should be done in the morning. So they're going to be finished with her in the morning. The lead prosecutor, Comey, said the government will rest no later than a week from Friday and perhaps as early as Wednesday next week. The government is condensing its case and will soon let the court and defense know what witnesses will be cut from earlier plans, Comey said. So, everybody told us the way is coming. Now they're saying that, they cutting the witness list. And by next week, Wednesday, it's probably going to be a wrap. And if, track records mean a lot, if their track record is speaking from itself, all we're going to hear is a bunch more about this sex life. And I'm done. Felicia, your thoughts?
All right. So, Diva, some of your subscribers and some of the folks on this panel, they've been hearing me for a while. And I'm going to say something, and I'm being very serious about what I'm going to say. Mr. Combs and Ms. Jane Doe are very much in love with each other. This is, yes, a toxic, violent, drug-filled, sex-filled relationship, but I believe they really love each other and they want to be together. I think if he can get off tomorrow They would go right down the street to the Trump Hotel and have a hotel night and be happy to have it. I think what the prosecution has done here to the public, to the world public, is they've terrorized us. They've opened doors to things that's none of our business. Many of us have no idea about this kind of life. And we didn't want to know anything about it. But they came forward and they said, yeah, you're right. He's a monster. Yeah, he's a violent person. He's an abuser. He took this person like that person, and we're going to get him. And what did I listen to the last 18 hours? I miss you, baby. Yeah, I miss you. You my crack pipe. Yeah, I love him. I want him to be happy. And I don't want him with other women. But you know I'm going to be with other women. You ain't going to be talking to me like that. I could sit outside and hear that. I don't have to be listening to testimony of these two people who were in a very, very bad but good relationship for each other. And now she said, well, I did get some money, but I didn't get enough money. And she was following all the other girlfriends. Mr. Combs isn't stupid. Neither is Miss Doe. She's a very bright woman. And I think she's being extremely manipulative. She cried so much today in the courtroom. Oh my God, today was cry baby day. Today, keep bringing the tissue, keep bringing the tissue. Yesterday, she was far more assertive, a lot more aggressive. Monday, she talked about, slamming his head on the counter, punching him in the face. This is regular street, gutter, ghetto relationship with billions of dollars. We get to do this all over the world, not all over the neighborhood. So what's going to happen? I agree with you. They had to cut it because let's go back to the perjury. Okay? So we've had at least 6 people come up and testify whose testimony is now in question. So if you're the prosecution, do you want to bring up more people whose testimony has holes in it, doesn't come across as credible? I don't think so. I don't think so. And you certainly don't want to be bringing on hostile witnesses because some of them have been very clear on what they have and have not done. So you have to be very strategic who you're going to bring up. So if you think you have him on the prostitution and the sex trafficking, maybe you do, maybe you don't. When it comes to juror number 6, I'm wondering if they read his notes. Now, I served on jury duty and I took notes. And no, it's not mandatory. It's not. I was on grand jury duty. But I didn't get to go home with my notes. They were put in a locker. So I'm wondering if someone has read his notes. So, they have specialists who are there just to monitor the jury. They're looking, monitoring their behavior, what they may be saying, who's befriending who, that kind of thing. And they may very well have someone like that in this courtroom. And maybe this person has a personality of a leader, thought-thinking person. Maybe they're very much liked by their co-peers and they want him out. And so they say, well, they use that word canned. I was watching Jesse earlier. He said that's something to do where you may not have divulged all of your information. So we know they had a multitude of questions. They asked you things from what do you like to eat, what you like to watch, where did you work, what are your interests? And maybe he didn't reveal everything they thought he should have, and they want him out. So we'll hear that tomorrow. In terms of the defense, we'll see. But I think Jane did good work for both sides. She did good work for the prosecution and she did good work for the defense. She's a woman in love. And she don't want to see her man locked up. Okay? And so she's not going to go in there. She go up there again tomorrow. God have mercy on us. Let her be finished tomorrow. We don't want to hear no more from Jane Doe. I'm
done with her. Done with her. Julius, your thoughts?
I'm about to sue the prosecution for distress. They put us in this dang group chat. Well, guess what? As the saying goes, I'm seeing my way out of it. I'm so sick and tired of it. I don't care what they doing in the bedroom. If they like to hang from the shower rod, okay, hang from the shower rod. If you like to bump and grind in the balcony, bump and grind in the balcony. If you like to bump and grind in the kitchen, do all that. I don't care. And if you want to bring other people in while you're bumping and grinding, or you just want to sit back and let your partner have a good old show, do you, boo-boo? Do you? I don't care what you're doing in your bedroom. That's what this whole case has been about. We know Diddy loves sex. We know he a freak. We know he loves the substances. We got that. We been on this. Like, there has not been anything breathtaking or breaking kind of news to get our attention. It's been the same old, and I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. And someone start the class action lawsuit to sue the prosecution.
Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, Jane Doe, she really loved the lifestyle, and I don't think it was the money. You know, I think that was just an excuse to try to bring up, you know, she wasn't getting paid as much as the other girls. But I don't know if he was paying the other girls rent. $10,000 or $15,000 a month. So, like I say, I don't think it was the money. And she's trying to walk this fine line, you know, because just in case Diddy get off, she, you know, definitely gonna try to get back with him, but she don't want to be, well, I didn't say too much, you know. So I think she's just trying to walk that fine line that, you know, she'll come out okay as far as like, well, I didn't rat on you all the way, you know. I think some things she may be saying a little bit too much, and that it's like, you know, and have done a few things, you know. If somebody bashed my head in the marble table, I don't think I'd be trying to get back with them. So, you know, and like I said, she lied before, like, you know, what can you believe? But I don't believe it was for the money. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, the bashing of the head in the table, that was a normal day in the life of Diddy. It really was. He been fighting with these women since he got with him and was popping all of those whatever alleged pills and so forth and so on. If you listen to Gene Deal, he'll tell you that Diddy and Ken Porter got into it. And he says that Diddy got a scar on his wrist from Ken Porter to this day. So
Jane Doe and him seem more like the Bonnie and Clyde.
No, Bonnie and Clyde was together for 10 years. That was Diddy and Cassie. That was Diddy and Cassie, because Cassie got down with the get down too. You know, they don't want to tell it, but she was telling these girls too to shut up. You go here, you do this, you do that. Remember, Capricorn Clark got mad because she felt like, and she even said it, they was all jealous of each other. Capricorn Clark said that once Cassie became the girlfriend, the real girlfriend, and moved to LA, she thought I was her assistant too. So Cassie got down with the get down. This particular chick, she was really, really, but they all were. That's the crazy thing about it. She was really, really in love with Diddy. I mean, when you telling this man to go to rehab, you telling him eat clean, get your life together. She really cared about him, but the problem is he don't even care about himself. He's so in the throes of that thing. I don't think he knows how to live without it. You know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be very honest with you. Them not giving him that bail, I think it saved his life. I think it saved his life. And I think if he would have got bail, and I'm gonna say allegedly, I think he would have been coming to that court every day high as a kite. So the fact that he did not get bail, it actually was a blessing in disguise. And if there is a mistrial, you know, at first I said if there was a mistrial that he probably is going to ask for bail again and they probably would give it to him. But I'm going to be honest with you. If there's a mistrial, he don't need bail. He need to stay right up in that jail because proof that he wasn't ready, the last freak off was a month before he got arrested. And they said that there was evidence in the hotel like it was about to be another freak off. Katrina, your thoughts?
I was just sitting there wondering, isn't it a conflict of interest because he's still paying her bills and she got to testify against him? I mean, like, or do you think I'm finna sit up and tell you the truth and have him sent away and my bills won't get paid anymore? I don't understand this. This is crazy. This is totally nuts. I mean, both of them, they are mixed fruit. One's a banana and one's a macadamia. I mean, this is just ridiculous and sick. Yeah, they probably was in love with each other, Felicia. I think he was in love with what she was doing, but I think she was in love with him for the money part. Because with all this situation, I never heard them saying that they had sex with him. I always hear them saying they had sex with the people, and he sit back and watch. Like he can't perform with a woman or something because I'm not getting it. They never said that he joined in.
No. He didn't join in the night set, but Jane talks several times about her and Diddy being intimate.
Okay, she said that she wanted to be intimate with her, but when she came out there in lingerie, whatever. But when he got there, he asked her to do the freak off, the hotel night or whatever they was doing.
Listen, Katrina, she said they did it first, but unfortunately, the night still ended up in the freak off.
Ugh, sick. Whatever. But if they did, I mean, they're just totally sick. Child. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I don't even know where to go. I mean, you got. You seen that you was mad because Carisha was getting $500,000 a month, and you was getting 10. I mean, girl, he seen that you was easy mark. He knew he had your heart, so he knew he can play on that. He knew this, and he knew you weren't gonna go nowhere because you wanted the money. Even you loved him, but he didn't love you. And like I always tell people, like my grandfather always told me, never love a person more than they love you because you always get the short end of the stick. He was telling her exactly what she wanted to hear. He wasn't feeling her whatsoever. He was feeling you so you can do those freak offs. That's the only thing that I'm getting. Because if he cared about you, he wouldn't have been showboat showing Carisha off, showing him taking Carisha shopping, showing him and Carisha on the yacht. And then that's another thing. When he was with Carisha, didn't Baby Love come in the midst of that, and she wanted the baby by him? He didn't have no baby by her. He had a baby by whoever this other woman is that's got Baby Love there. It's just a whole sick situation. None of them was his girlfriends because he was very particular on about who he wanted to be his baby mamas. He made sure that none of them was his baby mamas. The ones that he wanted to be their baby mama, even though they probably got the beat down as well, but they got treated better than the ones that he didn't want to be the baby mother. He didn't want his kids even coming around Cassie. So what kind of situation is that? You can be my girl, but you can't have nothing to do with my kids. My kids can't be around you. All of them are crazy. They're sick. They're sick. And I hope this thing is over because I'm sick of Diddy. I'm sick of his sex life. I really don't care about it. Really don't care about the women that was in his sex life because they all did it for money. They all did it because they loved him. And now they suffering the consequences. That's all I got.
Whew. Listen, guys. Measure Man, I appreciate you. It was given know your place 100%. Thank you so much for the super chat. Listen, one thing I will say about him from the video, from the audios that we're hearing, from the text messages, This man never lied to them. You're not the only one. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to see who I want to see. I'm going to do what I want to do. And she got mad. You got 13,000, but you wanted 15,000. What you wanted was for him to treat you better than he treated the other girls. You knew that Young Miami was getting paid, and you was doing all of this extra stuff, and he wasn't even giving you the money that he was giving her. That's what you're really mad about. Go ahead, Felicia.
I want to know when, because I know things change, and I'm not naive to that. But when did the prostitutes become the girlfriends? I've always known a prostitute to be a prostitute.
Wow. They didn't feel that way.
Okay, so she did her research on what she thinks is going on with him. She should have done some research on what's going on with her.
Well, that's facts,
right? Because I don't listen. A prostitute's a prostitute, and we know that there's usually, what do they call a clique of pros, and they go out and they usually hustle to make this money. So, yeah. So he sees you on a rotation schedule, and he brings in the commercial workers, and you all do what you got to do with these commercial workers. And what did she say? She would wear the 6-7 inch heels, and she'd keep them on for 12, 14 hours. So I don't know. Were there no mirrors in the place? Did you ever have a moment of clarity and looked at yourself? And looked at yourself in this group of people? You saw yourself as a girlfriend? I'm not understanding that. So she says that he's her boyfriend, her partner, her lover. She didn't say he was her pimp. And when she realizes he was her pimp, then maybe she can end this relationship. Because that's what he is. That's what he is. He's a billionaire pimp telling you, you better do this. You better get on your job because I'm on my job. And he loves it. He loves it. And he ain't giving it up. So if he get out, he going to still be doing it. And there going to be a lot more people lined up now. Because a lot of folks want that life. They want to get paid. They want to be on the yacht and running off the yacht, trying to walk on water like Jesus. They can't wait. They want the bag of pills. They want all the dope. They want to go here, there, and everywhere. And they don't mind if they have to compromise their soul, their morals, their integrity. They're going to do it. And she knows it. And that's why she's up there walking that fine line, as Wayne said, because she's going to be the first one to welcome him home. She may be right down there at 500 Pearl Street in some 6-7 inch heels with some lingerie on when he come out. Oh yeah. I can see it.
Listen, guys, you know what? It's June 11th. How many weeks we got left? Because they said, the judge said July 4th. July 4th is
wrapped up right now.
It's going to be over before then. It's going to be over before then. This is why they're going after the juror. It's going to be over before then. And that clip that you showed us with the woman reporter and that man in the background cussing and carrying on, he's been arrested 2 times already. And he's still on the street. They have a clip of him getting handcuffed out in front of the court.
What ain't she bold though? She said this is part of the life. Come on, sister. She good. You know what you want to know what's so wild though, Felicia? I've been seeing a lot of female reporters out there. Don't these men know how to send us out to the jungle?
Oh yeah. A
lot of the men are sitting in the building saying, okay, let me Diva's out there on the street. Let's go. Bastards. They sitting inside safe. I swear to is. Everyone I pull up, the female is in the street. She at the courthouse, and the man sitting inside. Measure me, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I have 2 black sons, and I can't keep calm because I worry about due process and lack of. No one is saying he didn't do it, etc. But all this bias ain't it, because any of us could be next. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you for connecting with me. That's what I'm talking about. When these people want to come, oh, Diva, this, that, it's due process. Why do we want to kick juror number 6 out? I need some more details. It's not like he got out the stand and dapped Diddy up. Talking about, I got you, man.
I personally think because of this perjury and this testimony, the judge has just really kind of come down on the prosecution. We're not letting any more addicted liars up in here, people who have a lack of memory. You have to have evidence. You have to have documentation. We're just not going to have hours and hours and hours of what was done, and we don't have the evidence to show. Because, again, we have another witness, never filed a police report, never went to a medical doctor. In fact, when she said that he grabbed her by the hair and dragged her in the house, she was able to get a hold of a phone, and she called the other woman. It's just trash. It's just trash.
And she called the other woman so the other woman could curse her the heck out.
Right. So don't call me no more.
Cursed her the heck out. But you know what though? This is even real life. When these chicks want to call the side chick and the wife and the this and that, you calling at your own risk. She told her, get on my darn phone. It had some other choice words for her. Because she wasn't about to lose her money bag and her line up in the Diddy world.
Right.
She was like, you better know your place.
Well, he did.
Go ahead.
He did tell her via text and voicemail messages how much he loves her and appreciates her. And she told us about the tender moments that they have together after these hotel nights.
Rubbing feet, watching Dateline.
Snuggled up.
Child.
In front of the fireplace.
Shame on her for not knowing a player. But the thing, what pisses me off with her is this man told you. This man told you. He said, I'm single, baby girl. He told her, he said, I'm single, baby girl. I could do what I want to do. And he also told her, he said, I bought you flowers, so you need to shut up about what I did last week. I already apologized for that. He said, I bought you flowers. I ain't talking about it no more. So if he said that in the text message she had, this is on a regular basis. He was letting them know, listen, it is what it is. Either you're going to fall in line, because he told her in that message, he said, I'm single.
And he also told her, you ain't going to keep talking to me like that.
He sure did. He sure did. You know what I think the difference? You know what? I think all of them was sassy. They knew what it was. I think all of them was sassy. Because even though we didn't hear what Cassie was saying in the video is horrific. So don't get me wrong, y'all. That video from the hotel is horrific. But you could, if you look at it again and you see when Cassie was on the floor, she looked up and she said something to him. She said something to him. And I know what she said was sassy. Because this is how they got down. They were drug addicts. I hate that. Like, I know that's so hard for people to be like, oh my God. They were drug addicts with money. And when they got high, they got out of control. Things got out of control. And everybody was putting their hands on each other. The real problem is, though, he was a man. And you should never put your hands on a female. But this is the way they was behaving. It was a mess. And I don't know how a cook, a housekeeper, or anybody was up in the jungle with that. But then again, I do know. You want to know how I know? Because like that one guy said, we was Diddy bopping. If you walked into that Diddy orbit, you were getting high, period. You were getting high. There's no way you could have stayed in all of that chaos and not get high. That's how they were surviving it. What was he? He was the ex-bodyguard or something? Said we was Diddy bopping.
No, he was the personal assistant, George.
The assistant, yeah. He said we was Diddy bopping.
He was the one that Mr. Combs told him, well, we have you on tape from last night.
Uh-huh. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And he conveniently didn't tell us. He act like it was nothing. No, you was getting down with the get down. He said that was you, player. That's what Diddy said to him. That was you, player. He said we got you on tape. Yeah, he told her, get on your job. He said, I'm on my job, so get on your job. I paid money, you give me, yes. And not really necessary, him, Lorraine. You go and you do this hotel night. He said, nah. He said, nah, you got me on my job. Now get on your job. And then he's like, you got me writing these checks? Hey, I went to 3 parties at his house and did not do. Listen, I'm talking about the people. Thank you, Sasuke. I'm talking about the people that lived in his orbit. I'm not talking about the people that just went to bar. The people that lived up in his orbit. Yes, you couldn't be the cook. Because like the one that what was you say, the personal assistant that said he roughed up the cook one time and got smart with her, and Diddy told her no, go buy her a gift, and he rolled up a joint and gave it to her. Yeah, Diddy a hot stinking mess. He a hot stinking mess. But the problem is they loved it. They didn't like it. They loved it. And it was the Hunger Games. Who can get him and who will he love the best? And similar, Jane and Cassie is similar because they thought if they kept doing these parties, they would be number one. That's why, if y'all remember, Cassie testified, she was like, why don't you ask Kim? But no, Kim, and you turn around, where was Kim Porter when it came time for Thanksgiving and all that? She was on the yacht with the family. Listen, guys, thanks for being here. Y'all know the routine. If you ain't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. I'll see y'all tomorrow night for Trending Topics. Choo choo.